Друзі, ще раз вітаємо всіх. Дякуємо, що ви залишаєтесь з нами. Марафон продовжується. І я хочу привітати в студії ще одного нашого ведучого, Ілько Божко. Це прес-офіцер ОК «Схід». І насправді Ілько допомагає нам в роботі Харківського медіахабу з самого початку його створення. Допомагає дуже багато. Ми будемо сьогодні розповідати про специфіку роботи медіахабу і чому прес-офіцери нам так просто критично важливі. Я тобі дякую за те, що ти з нами, і за те, що ти сьогодні приїхав спеціально допомагати проводити цей марафон. Я передаю тобі слово, вітаю в гостях. У нас ще одну гостю нашу, Харбір Батіу, але ти вже представиш більш детально.
Дуже дякую, Наталю. Sorry, we have to talk English for Harbier. Who knows me for quite a long period of time knows aware that I have a bunch of stories. But right now I want to introduce a very special guest for me and for Kharkiv. Entrepreneur, philanthropist, strategist, Харбір Батіа. The main question is, Harbier, what are you doing here?
That's a good question. First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity, and it's an honor to be able to share those things with you all and the listeners. In terms of what I'm doing here, this isn't just about Ukraine. This is about all free people. Everybody wants the right to be free, whether it is religion, whether it's your race, but everybody believes that they have that right to be free. And what has happened to Ukraine, what has happened to Kharkiv, specifically being at the borders, is very, it touched my heart. And as I've told many of you before, initially I got connected with this city because of my father. He lived in Kharkiv in the 1960s, and then when I was a child in India, I was born and raised around Russians and Ukrainians. So it became very relatable to me. Now, being that I'm a Sikh, of the faith Sikh, it's really a life practice. You stand up for injustice of anyone. And being that I am a Sikh and my parents all felt the same, how could we ignore what Russian government was doing to Ukraine? It was unacceptable. And that's where the story started. As soon as we heard about the attacks on Ukraine, we had contacts. At that time, it was my Sikh network, and they told us the stories because they were running like the civilians in Ukraine. And we heard the stories of them running in the snow, in the ice. And we said, this is wrong.
Тікали з України
And a week later,
по снігу, по льоду.
to help refugees escape.
І ми допомагали цим біженцям врятуватись.
So personal for us, because
Це
you
було
all
дуже особисто для нас. Тому що всі ми маємо сім'ї, і ми не можемо ігнорувати це.
It's incredible. Could you please
Це
tell us
неймовірно.
more about your personal side of the story? I mean, like,
Скажіть, будь ласка, особисту сторону цієї історії. Оскільки я знаю, це пов'язано з вашим батьком. Коли я була маленькою, я жила тут тільки 6 років. І я пам'ятаю Україну і Росію, які жили в нашій колонії. І була дуже популярна приказка в той час.
India and people of Soviet are like brothers.
Що люди Індії і люди Радянського Союзу, вони є як брати.
And Ukrainians and Russians. It was normal. It wasn't odd.
Було нормально.
And we used to do gatherings together. We would have dinners together. I saw the
Спільні якісь обіди, проводили разом час.
when Papa used to live here.
І
He
коли тут
said,
жив тато, він казав,
"Are just like us."
ці люди такі, як ми.
We would go to each other's children's
Ми
birthdays.
як одна сім'я, ми можемо ходити на дні народження наших дітей, ми можемо мати якісь спільні обіди, спільні заходи.
Ukrainian, Russian, Indian, Sikh. It's about human to human relationship.
Це
And
говорить про взаємостосунки між людьми.
we saw the pregnant women.
Одного разу ми побачили вагітну жінку, ми були дуже злі, тому що
Pure evil.
це зло, чисте зло. І це було питанням гуманності.
Maybe
Я повернулася і сказала,
I was like, I have no choice. Inspired me, my father, my mother, a woman at 74 comes to Ukraine during a war. People thought we were crazy, but it didn't seem like crazy. It seemed like there are people. We have to help. It was that simple.
You know, I remember one time I asked a really important Finnish guy who provided us a few ambulances, and like, how did you pick this way of action?
Yeah.
What was, he answered, what was the choice? I
Yes.
didn't have a choice.
Didn't have a choice. And I don't feel I have a choice even today. I have given my career up. I haven't gone back to full-time tech consulting for more than a year now. And I keep asking myself, how long am I going to do this? Because I need to go back to some point of normal life, but I can't.
What is normal life now?
Exactly what is normal now. And I know now that this was my path. And I was chosen for my reasons, for me, for my family. This was something that we need to keep doing. And so as long as I can, I will.
Could you please tell us more about, this is not your first time in Ukraine and in Kharkiv.
Correct.
So you have your own experience. Like, usually I try to introduce Ukraine like polycultural country, you know, so like it's a cradle for at least 5 nations.
Yeah.
So what can you say from this point of view?
Well, this is my 4th trip. It would have been 5th, but you know, due to the needs of Ukraine, we changed our plans that I should do fundraising instead of coming here. This is a beautiful place. The country is just gorgeous. And I tell people that I wouldn't have known, except for my dad's stories, how gorgeous it was. I've gone through the hills of, you know, of the west and driven all the way across to the east, down to Zaporizhia. I've gone to Ivano-Frankivsk. There's so much diversity in this country. But the simple thing to say is just beautiful. And I look at the spaces, Kharkiv Square. When you ask somebody, why do you have such a big open space? You say to somebody, it's a waste of space. Not really. If we look at it from a capitalist point of view, sure, maybe. But if you look at it from a people point of view, what a smart decision to create a place for people to come together and make it part of your city. And I also do placemaking. It's called placemaking in the United States, where you think about how to bring people together. And, you know, to cooperate, to celebrate, to build relationships. And you've got all of that everywhere. I love the plazas. I love the stairs. I love the statues. I love the architecture. But it doesn't mean that the city and the people are old, but there's so much richness. I recently heard that Kharkiv, Kyiv, many of the major cities have been here before even many cities of Russia.
Of course.
The culture doesn't come from there. No disrespect to any Russian individually. They have rich culture as well in their history, but this is the hub. And so whenever I go back, children ask me stories. Auntie, what does it mean? Are they different like, no, I said they're like us. And what does it look like there? What do they eat? What do they drink? What does it look like? What do they wear? I said, they're not like Martians. They're from the country. They're not like from the United States, but they are people, right? But I tell them about the parks, the river, the hills when you go further south. There's just so many stories to tell, and they find it so fascinating because in their mind, Ukraine is just a black box. And I realize now,
і зараз я розумію, чого не вистачає нам на Заході. Це культури.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's not my
Ми бачимо, наскільки важливою є культура.
Could you please, we don't have huge amount of time,
У нас
unfortunately.
не так багато часу, на жаль.
I appreciate.
З вами дуже цікаво, я дуже ціную, що ви прийшли сюди. Хотів би дізнатись від вас, що ви думаєте про Харків зараз? Подивіться.
History and our past.
Ми завжди повинні підтримувати свою історію, своє майбутнє. Тому що вона допомагає нам зрозуміти, хто ми такі.
What do we
Як
keep
ми
up
опинились тут?
and what do we need to do to get there? In the current
Що ми зробили в минулому, яким буде наше майбутнє? Ми повинні переконатись,
stable is productive. We should
ми є
learn
стабільними, що ми є продуктивними.
if you do not
Ми повинні, якщо ми не
your society
маємо зараз ментального здоров'я, то ми будемо дуже страждати в майбутньому.
people grow, they're growing with like, holes in them. You need to patch those holes, help them heal. And to be a productive
Ми
city,
повинні вилікувати людей, ми повинні бути продуктивним містом, і ми повинні мати продуктивне майбутнє.
if you think from a society point
Ваш
of view,
основний засіб – це люди.
without one, you cannot have the other.
Let's focus on people.
Absolutely, because if they're not happy, if they're not healthy, then your
Якщо
city
люди не щасливі, якщо люди не здорові,
is destroyed. They will fall
це
apart.
суспільство буде зруйновано, воно буде зруйновано.
If your foundation is
Це
not
як основа. Якщо фундамент не є здоровим,
then this will
і
crack.
одна частинка буде відвалюватись,
Of the whole thing, the whole thing will crack.
буде зруйнована вся будівля.
Now that is up to the people of Kharkiv to be self-determining, to
Це
decide
про
what
людей з Харкова.
and understand they have to work towards it. Don't wait for help. Don't wait for somebody else.
Не чекайте на майбутнє, не чекайте на допомогу від когось, робіть все самі. Кожна людина
Ways to make a difference in your own health,
є
in your community,
різною.
in the way you work. So I would say it's mental health.
Я би сказала, що важливе – це ментальне здоров'я.
And have jobs. If they don't, there will be a stress on the system, and they will not be healthy, productive people in the future. Third,
Економіка. Третє – це
but bring the people.
відремонтувати місто, відновити місто.
Belgrade is so close.
Sorry?
So when you to rebuild the city,
Yes,
you
so
know, like,
yeah,
threat is still there.
yeah.
So
But you have to remember, rebuilding isn't.
Найважливішим – це є відновлення міста.
It's every aspect of it. Whether it's meeting together, whether it's starting schools up, whether it's working in the basements to get your jobs going. But rebuilding is not only physical. It's
Відбудова не тільки фізична,
philosophical. It's
це
emotional.
філософська відбудова,
Productive. It's economical.
продуктивна, економічна відбудова.
I know, like, this pause is generated, but like we have
Я
all this
знаю, що
bunch of ideas, and you're
у
ready
вас
to.
є багато ідей, які ми можемо обговорити. Що ви можете побажати українцям і світу?
There is no profit in your motherland, so it's your special role here. What can you say right now?
Ваша роль тут є дуже особливою. Будуйте мости.
I built my bridge, and
Я
that's what
побудувала свій міст.
social enterprises Onkar bridges.
Це мої
Onkar means oneness among.
соціальні підприємства.
From our philosophy as but it's
Це
about.
походить з моєї філософії.
And if you don't build bridges with the rest of the
Якщо
world,
ви не будете будувати мости з
you're basically
іншими
going to
країнами
isolate yourself.
світу, ви будете ізольовані. І я сподіваюся, що цей досвід,
Is willing to be your friend, to stand up with you.
завдяки цьому досвіду, весь світ буде
Languages,
вашими друзями. Вчіть мови,
visit them,
відвідуйте інші країни, знайомтесь з людьми.
come to Ukraine.
Я би хотіла побачити багато людей, які приїжджають до України, а також українців, які будують мости з іншими країнами.
You see that you can add value somewhere else, come with open
Якщо ви
arms.
можете мати десь користь, робіть це.
I just want to say thank you, and there
Хочу
is
вам подякувати і подарувати вам наш маленький подарунок.
a little memorabilia for you.
Thank you. You know, I collect.
Е,
I have so
так.
many.
Thank you.
У мене
Thank
є
you
багато, якраз ще один до моєї колекції.
for your support.
I just also want to say a final
Ukraine.
word. Congratulations on 1 year of
Вітаю
being,
вас.
and I'm so honored.
Будьте сильними, хоробрими та сміливими.
Друзі, ми
So,
продовжимо
friends, we continue our telemarathon.
включитися до наших друзів, колег, тому що колеги там теж є, які зараз підтримують наш телемарафон таким своїм спортивною акцією. І ми вітаємо нашу частину телемарафону, яка зараз знаходиться, зараз, до речі, дізнаємось де. Вітаємо, друзі, переключаємось.